Corner. Seaboard Marine. With over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity. We're good for you. And Roper's Janitorial. Complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Wednesday, the 27th day of November 2019, one day before Thanksgiving Day that is celebrated in the U.S. and several other countries as well. Some people here in the Cayman Islands also celebrate Thanksgiving, especially those who are affiliated in some way or the other with the United States, those who reside here, who work here as well. I first want to apologize for the late start this morning, but we had some technical difficulties that were way beyond our control. But here we are this morning again on For the Record. For those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, again, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Observe the rules of the road. Take that extra precautionary measure if you have to ensure that you are safe and that those around you are safe as well. That is whether you're a pedestrian, whether you're a cyclist, whether you're operating any type of vehicle, motorized or otherwise, on the roads of the Cayman Islands as well. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. If you've celebrated one a few days ago, belated happy birthday as well. For those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. In particular, we want to extend this morning to Dr. Steve McField and his family our condolences on the loss of their family member, Mr. John Evans. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. Our phone lines are always open. There's always someone there waiting to take your calls. This morning again, that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow, that toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, email us at For the Record, one word, For the Record at CANDW.KY. WhatsApp us on 925-3261, where we encourage you to send us a text message or leave us a voice note. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. It's my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than Ms. Theresa Pitcairn. We're still expecting Dr. Steve McField in the studio as well. So without any further ado, Ms. T, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. I know you've been up late into the early hours of this morning as well, but you're looking like you're all raring to go this morning.
See, that's that OC. You know, when I was growing up, elders used to speak of people with sweet mouth. You just listen and watch them. So thank you very much this morning for inviting Dr. Steve and I. As you say, he's probably gotten stuck in the traffic this morning, because when I spoke to him last night, he said that he would be here this morning. I also like to thank our audience here in Cayman and those in the diaspora for giving us this opportunity to speak about current, maybe topical issues that hopefully that we can have by way of discussion, and we can have a chat and we learn something from each other.
Certainly. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Paramount Carpet pre-Christmas blowout sale is back for one whole week starting Monday, November 25th through Saturday, November 30th. Save big with assorted remnant tile, 200 square foot, $100 a pallet. Assorted remnant granite slabs, $300 each. Ceramic tiles as low as 75 cents per square foot. Porcelain tiles as low as 99 cents a square foot. Area rug, 35% off. Carpets, 25% off. And all other in-house tiles, 20% off. Cash and carry. It's the big blowout sale at Paramount Carpet, located 317 North Sound Road, Industrial Park. Open Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 7:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. Call 949-5000.
We do a whole lot more than just cover your floor at Paramount Carpets.
This holiday, Logic is helping you mix and match. So, whether it's reggae jingle bells or wearing plaid with Santa sweaters, anything goes. It's all about the freedom to choose, like mixing and matching your Logic services. The more you spend, the more you save. Plus, we're doubling our internet speeds, which means you're getting the island's fastest internet at up to 30% less than the competition. It's like Christmas all year round. Visit logic.ky to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Cayman's public library system started in Georgetown in 1920 when the government included an annual grant of £40 in the budget for the establishment of a subscription library. The library was located in a room above the old jail next to the old courthouse. At the end of 1937, plans were made for building a larger library at Georgetown to include reading and reference rooms. The new building was designed by Captain Ray O'Bodden and completed in 1939. The distinctive timbered ceilings was fashioned after a ship's hull turned upside down. The ends of the hammer beams are decorated with the shields of prominent British institutions of learning. The new library opened its doors to the public in 1940, and for a long time the main source of printed matter was the Ranfurly Library in England. Lady Ranfurly, wife of a colonial governor, started the project of collecting used books for shipment to British territories where books were in short supply. In 1980, the first trained librarian took over the running of the public library.
Radio Cayman's historical facts vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
540 months.
16,425 days.
394,200 hours.
45 years.
That's how long we've been committed to serving you, and we won't stop there. Over the years, we have proudly grown with Cayman, making a difference in the community. That's why we're here, to stand by you.
We are Cayman National.
And we thank you for standing by us for 45 years and counting.
Starting November 1st to December 31st, you can earn double points every time you use your Fidelity credit or prepaid cards. That's not all. When you use your card on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, Fidelity's giving you triple points. That means you have a whole weekend to rack up 3 times the points for travel, merchandise, and more. And with added protection of instant text alerts, 90-day purchase protection, and chip and PIN technology, you can shop with confidence. Fidelity. We're good for you.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Kirk Freeport's Black Friday weekend sale is bigger than ever, with up to 50% off an incredible selection of watches, jewelry, and accessories. And Kirk Freeport is giving early access to the sale on Thursday night, starting at 5 p.m. Bayshore Mall and Cardinal Avenue will stay open until 8 p.m., and the Strand will remain open until 9 p.m. Get unbeatable discounts from brands including John Hardy, Roberto Coin, Swarovski, Bulgari, Chopard, Marco Bisigo, Brogian, Basica, Doves, Ippolita, Lagos, Kipling, and many more. Plus, take an additional 10% off all non-branded merchandise. It's Black Friday all weekend at Kirk Freeport. Visit kirkfreeport.com for details.
Back by popular demand for November only. It's your sale, your choice at Vamp Motors. Vamp is making it easier than ever for you to drive home a real deal, where you can choose how much you'll save on your new vehicle and whether you want to get cash back or add-on upgrades to it. Save big on the new Ford Explorer, F-150, Edge, EcoSport, and Focus with up to $5,000 off select vehicles during our November sale. Get huge savings on the Toyota RAV4, Rush, and Fortuner as well. Best of all, you decide if you'll take the full discount, get cash back, or upgrade your new ride. It's your sale, your choice, but only during November. So come by Vamp Motors on Walker's Road, where your new SUV or truck is waiting for you to drive home. I'm starting my shopping early this year. What do you want for Christmas?
All I really want for Christmas is for my packages to arrive on time.
Plan ahead to get your shipments into Seaboard Marine on time and avoid the holiday rush. Check out their great less-than-container shipment rates. Seaboard saves you time, money, and convenience with consolidation and repacking options available. Take a load off Santa this holiday season. Shop, ship, and save on your small packages with Seaboard Marine. Give us a call at 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com/grand-cayman for quotes or additional details.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
This Saturday, November 30, just before Christmas, you can be the grand prize winner of $40,000 with your Rotary Central Music Extravaganza ticket purchase of only $25. Win that grand prize of $40,000, second prize $4,000, 6 $1,000 prizes, and more. This Saturday, November 30, the 24th Rotary Central Music Extravaganza at Royal Palms, West Bay Road from 7 p.m. Get your golden tickets now on sale through Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, Funky Tangs, Hurley's, Costules, A.L. Thompson's, Foster's, Walker's Road Rubis, Savannah Rubis, or at last resort 9361344. Every ticket funds a cause. Rotary Central, 50 community projects over 33 years. Your ticket, your chance, your community. Rotary, connecting the world. The referendum for the cruise berthing and cargo facility is on the 19th of December. Will you be traveling or overseas on referendum day? You can still cast your vote by postal ballot. The deadline for postal ballot applications is December 7th. For more information about how to apply, visit www.elections.ky and get set to vote.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Ms. Teresa Pitcairn. Before we go on to the topic again, I want to also extend sincere condolences to the family and friends of Miss Carol Winkler as well. As everyone would know, she passed away on Monday. We have seen tributes coming from the legal fraternity, Chief Justice, Attorney General, the government as well, in relation to the sterling service that Ms. Winkler provided. I had an opportunity also to engage with Ms. Winkler because during the election period, she was always assigned to elections. So we had Mr. Gomez, Mr. Culford Scott, and myself had many sit-downs with her, and I found her to be an extremely fair reporter, really balanced and fair in terms of her reporting. Ms. T.
Yeah, I have to also concur. One thing I want to say before I even start, she came and she fit right in to our community, and she became one of us. That just really fills my heart up. She wasn't a woman of many words, and my mom actually worked with her for a little bit. And the other day, when I was assisting with the legal practitioners law, and she was invited to review some of the changes that we were proposing, she wanted to write an article, a balanced article. She reached out, we spoke. And I was particularly heartened because she says, I know your history in the community as a professional and that you have a voice. Your mom would be so proud of you to see that voice that you're developing. So that was very touching for me. Yeah. But came in, fit right into the community, was a humble person. You could always see her on her bike. In fact, when I saw her about 2 months ago, and she was still on the bike. I remembered saying to one of my cousins, I said, I just saw Carol Winkler, and I says, I wasn't, really happy with the way she looked. But, she was unflappable. Yes. And, so I just said maybe she was having a bad day. I didn't know that she was suffering as she did. And but always, she is someone that folks who say that they're one of us, they can aspire to be like her, and she represents everything to me. And I only know her as a public person, yes. But she represents the sort of individual that we would love to welcome and remain among us.
Oh yes, yes. We needed we need thousands of the Carol Winklers. Yeah. We need them in the Cayman Islands, and of course, she's my favorite also simply because she rides a bike. And, she rode that bike all of the time. She'd ride from the Compass office to the court's office. You'd always see her on that bike, and I admired her, for that as well. Well, we don't have a whole lot of time left before the news, maybe about 1 minute. But what we can do is we can prep our audience as to what we're going to be talking about or start talking about this morning. And while we wanted to continue the discussion on constitutional changes in the Cayman Islands, we want to address another topic that is even more prominent because of the timeliness of it, and that is the application for judicial review on the referendum issue. And we look at the headlines in two of our newspapers, the Cayman Compass, as well as Cayman News Service. Cayman Compass, their headline is, Premier Port Referendum Uncertain. Cayman News Service, Premier Referendum Date in Doubt as well. And it has so many implications in relation and so many things may be affected one way or the other depending on how that application for judicial review goes, and we want to talk about that. So we're going to go to our 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with Ms. Teresa Pitcairn will continue, so please stay tuned.
Thank you, OC, and studio time now by Price Right is 7:59.
Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Price Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by Sagicor. Let us put a smile on your face. Call 949-8211.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. 5 people are arrested by the Customs and Border Control Service for various work and CBC offenses during an operation on November 21st at the Georgetown port. CBC says the operation was to heighten border security efforts by executing actions to better identify and understand the threats, to deter or lead to the seizure of narcotics, weapons, undeclared goods, thus distributing transnational organized criminal activities and contributing to improving security at the Georgetown port. During the operation, CBC officers searched sections of the vessel, including crew members in their cabins, imported vehicles and cargo, as well as other individuals working at the port who were suspected of committing CBC offenses. Detector dogs were used extensively during the operation. Investigations are ongoing. Local public health officials report an increase in the number of cases of locally transmitted dengue. More from Radio Cayman, Shanda Gallego.
There are 8 new cases of dengue confirmed in the Cayman Islands since the last update on November 8th. This after 37 additional results have been received from the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA. Public health officials report of these 8 new cases, 3 patients had traveled to a country with year-round transmission of dengue, while 5 had no travel history, which suggests that person acquired dengue within the Cayman Islands. This brings the total number of confirmed dengue results since the first locally transmitted case in October 2019 to 14 locally transmitted and 9 imported cases. To date, confirmed cases have been distributed between East End, Georgetown, West Bay, and Bodden Town. The Public Health Department's surveillance unit continues to deploy systematic and enhanced surveillance measures, working closely with government and private sector physicians to review reports of suspected dengue. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Shanda Gallego.
U.S. health authorities are investigating an outbreak of illnesses caused by E. coli in the United States. Epidemiological laboratory and traceback evidence indicate that romaine lettuce from the Salinas, California growing region is likely the source of the outbreak. Officials with the Department of Environmental Health have been monitoring the situation and are advising members of the public not to consume the affected products. Also, retailers should not sell any romaine lettuce harvested from the growing region. Department of Environmental Health officers have contacted local wholesalers and supermarkets to ensure that they do not offer the affected products for sale to the public. The DEH urges members of the public to refrain from using the affected products and properly dispose of them or return any unopened packages to the place of purchase. The DEH also encourages those who feel they have become ill from the consumption of any of these items to contact their medical provider immediately. And Ikena Eluenia from Red Bay was officially crowned the best primary school speller at the 22nd annual RBC Royal Bank Primary Spelling Bee on Tuesday. After facing off in 4 intense rounds, the 9-year-old was titled Top Primary School Speller. After winning the title, here's what she had to say.
It definitely takes a lot of hard work. You have to sacrifice more than half of your leisure time, for more studying. It kind of makes you feel like you don't want to do it, but trust me, the reward is way better.
The 22nd annual spelling bee competition also saw Wilmer Gonzalez, the challenger from Theoline McCoy Primary School, take second place, and Jordan Cummings from Red Bay coming in third. Some 57 primary school students competed for the title of top speller. Supported by the Ministry of Education and the Department of Education Services, the event featured competitors from both government and private schools in Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac. The 2019 secondary spelling bee action gets underway today at 10 a.m. at the Red Bay Church of God, Selkirk Drive, where 18 students from 6 schools are registered to participate. In international news, the U.S. will legally designate Mexican drug cartels as terrorist groups, according to U.S. President Donald Trump. The move would enable a wider scope of U.S. action. Mr. Trump also said he had told Mexico the U.S. was ready to, quote, go in and clear out the cartels. In response, Mexico's foreign minister said his country would not allow any violation of national sovereignty. Earlier this month, Mr. Trump vowed to wage war on the drug cartels after a deadly attack on U.S. citizens in Mexico. 7 Islamists have been sentenced to death for a 2016 attack on a cafe in the Bangladeshi capital in which 22 people, mostly foreigners, were killed. The attack on the Holy Artisan Cafe in Dhaka was carried out by a group of 5 men who took diners hostage. 8 people were on trial accused of planning and supplying the attackers with weapons. 1 man was acquitted. The 12-hour siege was Bangladesh's deadliest terrorist attack. Most of the victims were Italian or Japanese. That's your latest news. I'm Karsley Fuller.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by Sagicor. Let us put a smile on your face. Call 949-8211.
Think about something that makes you happy. Did it make you smile? We know it did, because that's what we do at Sagicor. Put smiles on our clients' faces every day. With a large range of products to cover your family, it's no wonder most locals choose Sagicor for their life insurance needs. Serving the community for over 25 years. Let us put a smile on your face. Call your Sagicor advisor today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Yes, the board good for the future. Rewarding, yes. The board good for the income. Rewarding, yes. The board good for the children. Rewarding, yes. I'm headed out for me, for every family. Rewarding, yes, yes. Referendum day, yes, yes. Rewarding, yes, yes, yes. I voting, yes, yes. Rewarding, yes, yes. Referendum day, rewarding, yes, rewarding, yes. I'm putting eggs, rewarding, yes.
Black Friday starts early in the Georgetown Shopping District this Thursday with the Island Plaza and Kirk Freeport. From 5 till 8 p.m. this Thursday, the 28th of November, the Island Plaza, Cardinal Avenue, and Bayshore Mall will all be open till 8 p.m. to give you the first chance to get huge discounts on jewelry, watches, fragrances, sunglasses, and accessories, and much more at the Black Friday sale. Start your Black Friday shopping early this Thursday, the 28th of November in Georgetown. Search the Georgetown Shopping District on Facebook for more information.
Run off the extra helping of turkey dinner and give back in a big way this Thanksgiving. Register now for the Meals on Wheels Turkey Trot 5K and 10K Fun Walk Run on Saturday, November 30th at the Holiday Inn Resort in Safe Haven. Registration is only $25 and there are lots of spot prizes to be won and complimentary omelet station. Help Meals on Wheels fight senior hunger in the Cayman Islands. Visit mealsonwheels.ky or register at caymanactive.com. See you there.
They say it takes a village. We say it takes a country. Unemployment rate is the lowest in a decade. I'm able to provide for my family because I'm gainfully employed. For more information on strong public finances, visit gov.ky/strong economy.
The Weather Report is proudly sponsored by Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center, your one-stop household store at 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it, drop by and see for yourself.
Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Superstitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Superstitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 87%. Barometric pressure 29.98 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east-southeast at 12 knots. Overnight low temperature was 80 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate to fresh winds and moderate seas expected for the next 24 hours as a cold front over the Bahamas weekends, and for the associated high-pressure system to build over the western Atlantic Ocean. The forecast for today, calling for mainly fair skies this morning, becoming partly cloudy later today, with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Forecast for tonight, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures dipping to the low 70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 15 to 20 knots, and seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Small craft should exercise caution over open water for tonight. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 9:44, low tide this afternoon at 3:48, and a high tide again tonight at 8:58. The sun will set this evening at 5:44 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:41. And the outlook through Thursday morning is calling for similar weather conditions. That's the very latest on your weather report.
Superstitch Sewing and Fabric Center was the proud sponsor of the Weather Report, your one-stop shop for all of your household items, craft items, jewelry, beads, and decorations, and much more. Call Superstitch at 949-2833 or email customer care at superstitch.com.ky. New stock has just arrived at Superstitch. Now don't take my word for it, drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Superstitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Superstitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
You heard they're bringing back Gimme Story this year? That's kind of like Granny's backyard. A bunch of people telling all kinds of stories out on the beach or in the park in that nice Christmas breeze. Oh, really? When? Where? November 29th, it's starting. And I hear they're going to every district. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman too. Right through till December 7th. Try use some technology and find the dates and time so we can go now.
The Gimme Story International Storytelling Festival returns. Produced by the Cayman National Cultural Foundation. Visit artscayman.org for more information. Sponsored by Radio Cayman.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Top of the morning to you once again. Let's take a look at traffic. Traffic is busy bumper to bumper on the Linford Pearson Highway. Delays expected. Also coming off the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, traffic is also busy and steady traffic on some sections of Crew Road, other sections moderate, and traffic flowing moderately on North Sound Road. No issues on Owen Roberts Drive as traffic is light. And on Shedden Road, things looking pretty good as traffic flowing nicely, and Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, moderate flow of traffic. Coming from the Westway four-way stop, light to moderate traffic flow. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes. After 12, we'll update you once again with another traffic report. Have a good morning. Buckle up.
Do
you ever have those days when you have to get a super early start? Or you're out late and want something fresh and healthy to eat? Subway has now opened their 4th 24-hour location for you early birds and night owls. Subway at West Shore Center on 7 Mile is now open 24 hours. So now you can grab any of Subway's fresh menu items any time of the day at 4 convenient locations. West Shore Center 7 Mile, Countryside in Savannah, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers West Bay. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
It's that time of year again when our spelling bees are buzzing around with activity. Join us at the Red Bay Church of God on November 26th and 27th to show your support for our best young spellers during the 2019 staging of the RBC Royal Bank Primary Spelling Bee and the Lions Club of Grand Cayman's Secondary Spelling Bee competitions. The spell-offs begin at 10 a.m. each day. Don't be late. Brought to you by the Department of Education Services, RBC Royal Bank, and the Lions Club of Grand Cayman.
Did you know that CPR Cayman is now a registered non-profit organization? The government is spending a lot of money on their campaign, so we need your help to get the word out to as many people as we can. You can make a donation via our website cprcayman.com or call us at 938-5876. This is our first People's Initiated referendum for a decision that will affect everyone's future. It's your vote, your future. So make a decision based on fact. You deserve the whole truth.
Radio Cayman has always worked to showcase the best of our sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. From coverage of the agriculture shows, special Talk Today broadcast, and church services. 4 years ago, we launched the Brac Breeze Fusion 5K Walk Run. In our inaugural year, we raised funds for the Harmony Learning Center. In year 2, for the Lions Club of Cayman Brac Kids Pantry. And last year, the Sew and Sew Club. This year, the Brac Breeze Fusion will be raising funds for the Leo's Club of Cayman Brac. To all of our Cayman Brac families, we invite you to join us on Saturday, November 30th at 6:30 a.m. Southside Public Beach. Step by step, we can do it.
Cayman Brac, yes, it is your turn. The Breeze Fusion 5K Walk Run.
Register today at District Administration.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, we have Ms. Theresa Pitcairn, and we're going to be discussing the port referendum, the application for judicial review. And I will start by reading the Premier's comments that were reported in our newspapers, those comments that were made at the Finance Committee meeting. After I read those comments, we're going to have Ms. Theresa share the definition of judicial review with you as well, because the term judicial review keeps popping up in the lexicon of the Cayman Islands these days. We had it in relation to same-sex marriages. We've had judicial review on several other issues. We've had it in relation to whether, that it wasn't really a judicial review, but we had questions in relation to candidates' competency to sit in our legislative assembly. So the same way that we hear stories about the fishermen on the waterfront talking about various sections of our Constitution when constitutional discussions were taking place, I believe the term judicial review, we're going to be hearing more and more of it. People are going to be talking about it, and it is important for people to understand exactly what judicial review means and what it entails and what the final results of a application for judicial review could entail as well.
So just to build a little bit on that, and I'm going to try and break it down so that it's fairly simple, in that it's a form of democratic approach to bring in balance, whether it's balance in relation to public offices, for example, the CPA, whether it's balance in response to decisions that are made by public other public bodies and the government. It provides the layperson, especially if you have funding, to raise a concern that you have. If a decision is made, and in the case of the National Trust, for example, they have certain views about whether or not the decision that's been made by the government about the port, whether or not that is in compliance with what is in the best interest for our environment. They have a mandate of the National Trust law to actually be responsible for certain issues, including the welfare of our environment. So what it does, it provides the National Trust with an avenue to raise certain questions that it has where the decision of the government decision is made.
Okay. So in the Cayman Compass, I will read, it says, McLaughlin, speaking at the start of Finance Committee Tuesday, said both the Trust and the Cruise Port Referendum, CPR, Cayman, have taken legal action on the port vote. In the CPR's case, they have not filed documents to apply for judicial review, but they have commenced legal action to protect their right to apply for judicial review at a later date as well. Now, when I'll read one of the definitions, and this probably gets a little bit more complicated than the way that you broke it down, but it's basically saying the same thing. Judicial review is a type of court proceeding in which a judge reviews the lawfulness of a decision or an action made by a public body. In other words, judicial reviews are a challenge to the way in which a decision has been made rather than the rights and wrongs of the conclusion reached. It is not really concerned with the conclusions of that process and whether those were right, as long as the right procedures have been followed. The court will not substitute what it thinks is the correct decision. This may mean that the public body will be able to make the same decision again, so long as it does so in a lawful way.
Yes, so it's the lawfulness of the decision.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the case that we're looking at now, and it is noted here also that the CPR group, they have basically reserved their right to seek judicial review at a later date if necessary. But in the case of the trust, can you explain that to us?
Right. So as you rightly said, that the National Trust has initiated court proceedings, and they want to challenge the government's decision where the referendum is made. So what they have done, they submitted a letter dated the 12th of November to the courts, and I believe there is it's now under review. I think the Chief Justice is trying to determine which judge is going to be responsible to determine whether or not it's going to be an ex parte decision or the process. So
now you mentioned a term there, ex parte decision. Can you explain the?
So the court is going to decide whether or not it's going to be something that is reviewed in-house, or whether or not it's got something decision is going to be made where the entire public can be involved as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that way too it manages some of the division that the Premier made reference to in his letter in the Compass's article. But what they did, the National Trust, as I said to you, they have a mandate under Section 4 of the National Trust Law, and it says that the purposes of the trust, i.e. the National Trust, is the preservation of historic, natural and maritime heritage of the islands through the preservation of areas, sites, buildings, structures, and objects. So it has a number of responsibilities under Section 4.1. And then it has the power under Section 4.2 to carry out the following activities: the identification, investigation, classification, protection, and preservation of any place, building, area of beauty, or of historic, cultural, or environmental significance, and the creation and maintenance of a heritage register thereof. So the National Trust clearly has certain responsibilities and a certain mandate to review the way in which decisions are made where our environment is concerned.
So can any individual just seek judicial review, or do they have to have some standing, that decision that was made would have had to affect them? Or
they need to have reasons.
Yes.
I mean, anyone, provided you can afford it, can undertake a judicial review application. Mm-hmm. But it can't be something that is frivolous. Okay. It has to be something that has content, and certainly in this particular case, it has a degree of public importance. So under Order 3 of our Grand Court rules, and the Grand Court rules are set to regulate the practice and procedure in our courts. Mm-hmm. So, for example, under Order 53. That just sets out the way in which you bring a matter to the courts. Okay. So I'm going to read this because it's very clear in the way it's done. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The trust is the National Trust for the Cayman Islands. It's a corporate body established pursuant to the National Trust law, and it is mandated under the law to protect and preserve the historic, natural and maritime heritage of the islands and the protection of native flora and fauna, which actually repeats what I just stated. The Trust seeks the agreement of the Cayman Islands government to defer the holding of a referendum pursuant to the National Trust law, and also pursuant to the referendum law, which is the people-initiated referendum regarding the port. So whenever I refer to the law, that's the law that we're talking about. So the Trust seeks the agreement of the government to defer the holding of a referendum pursuant to the law and the commencement of any substantive work in connection with the construction of the cruise berthing project until such time as, and here the letter sets out the reasons why, which is why I said you can't have something frivolous. All necessary studies on the impact of the revised design of the cruise berthing project on coral reefs, including the long-term viability of proposals for coral relocation and restoration, have been carried out, and the resulting reports made publicly available in full. And I understand that the report that and I don't know, but my understanding is that the report that the government has been relying on is one that's dated 2015, and we're now in 2019. So the National Trust is asking to have sight of the current report. That the environmental impact assessment...
And there is a current one, or...
Well, I have to assume that, but maybe folks haven't seen, the National Trust members have not seen sight. The environmental impact assessment is to be updated to take into consideration the revised design, and that it may be considered in full by the Environment Assessment Board and an empaneled committee of the National Conservation Council, and the full report thereof made publicly available under the directive for December 2016. And as part of the terms of the environmental impact assessment and the terms of reference, a comprehensive study on the feasibility and environmental and ecological impact of the proposed relocation of the wrecks of the Balboa, and the call has been carried out, and the report thereof made publicly and available in full. This is what happens when people no longer trust our government, whichever government that may be. And you see now how this is going to be time consuming, because to do all of this, in a timely manner by the 19th of December, it's going to be a little difficult to do that.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Yes.
In default of such agreement, by no later than the close of business on the 20th of November 2019, the trust will apply to the court for orders restraining the Cayman Islands government from proceeding with the referendum or any works until such time as the conditions above have been met. So when folks say that this only came overnight, they were in receipt of a letter from the National Trust from the 12th of November, and that date, the letter actually set out the time that they were seeking a response. And I suspect that I just received a note on my phone saying that the CPR also gave a closing date to the government to respond.
Yes.
The trust has taken advice from leading counsel to the effect that the trust has a legitimate interest in this matter in view of its statutory purposes as set out in Section 4 of the National Trust Law. We talked about that. The Cayman Islands government is under the following obligation pursuant to Section 18 of the Cayman Islands Constitution Order, that the government shall, in all of its decisions, have due regard to the need to foster and protect an environment that is not harmful to the health or well-being of present and future, and I quote, and future generations, while promoting justifiable economic and social development. To this end, the government should adopt reasonable legislative and other measures to protect the heritage and wildlife, the land and sea biodiversity of the Cayman Islands that promote conservation and biodiversity. And finally, there's a whole lot of stuff that they have here, but I think what I've done is set out some of the main proposals. And on the Cayman Islands government is under duty under Section 18 of the Constitution to have regard to the need to protect the environment is a mandatory one. So when they make reference to Section 18 of the Constitution and the government, they're not saying it is a may, it's saying that the government shall. So similarly, the general public cannot make an informed decision in the referendum until such time as all of the necessary information has been made publicly available. For the Cayman Islands government to proceed with the referendum before doing so is irrational and inconsistent with its obligation under Section 18 of the Constitution.
Okay, fine. Before we're going to go to a commercial break, but before we go there, just want to prep you and our audience in terms of when we return. One of the questions that may be asked, why did the trust and the CPR wait until this juncture to seek an application for judicial review, bearing in mind that they put the government on notice in advance of that and gave them a timeline within which to respond to them? We also want to discuss and take into consideration how far the referendum process has already advanced and what happens there as well. And the other question will be, those persons who may have already voted by post, do they have legal standing in terms of seeking judicial review as well? Because they may have questions as to what happens to their vote at this point in time as well. So, folks, lots of interesting things to talk about. They all affect you. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
That changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Paramount Carpet pre-Christmas blowout sale is back. for 1 whole week starting Monday, November 25th through Saturday, November 30th. Save big with assorted remnant tile, 200 square foot, $100 a pallet. Assorted remnant granite slabs, $300 each. Ceramic tiles as low as 75 cents per square foot. Porcelain tiles as low as 99 cents a square foot. Area rug, 35% off. Carpets, 25% off. And all other in-house tiles, 20% off. Cash and carry. It's the big blowout sale at Paramount Carpet, located 317 North Sound Road, Industrial Park. Open Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 7:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. Call 949-5000.
We do a whole lot more than just cover your floor at Paramount Carpets.
The referendum for the cruise berthing and cargo facility is on the 19th of December. You can now visit the elections office at our new location at the Baytown Office Suites, 68 West Bay Road in Georgetown to apply in person for postal or mobile voting before the deadline on 7th December. For more information about voting in the referendum, visit www.elections.ky and get set to vote.
Are you one of the pensioners on island at risk of having their monthly payments stopped? The Public Service Pension Boards would like to remind its pensioners that their annual pension continuation certificates, PCCCs, have been distributed through the mail. To ensure continuity of benefits, please return your PCCC by December 31st, 2019. If you have not received your PCCC form, please stop by the Public Service Pension Board's Grand Cayman office, located on the first floor of the Government Administration Building, or the Cayman BRAC office, located at number 5 Dennis Foster Road, to address this matter. If you are a shut-in or have care or control over a pensioner who is unable to be transported to the Public Service Pension Board office, please call the Cayman office at 945-8175 or the Cayman BRAC office at 948-2544 for special assistance.
This holiday, Logic is helping you mix and match. So, whether it's reggae jingle bells or wearing plaid with Santa sweaters, anything goes. It's all about the freedom to choose, like mixing and matching your Logic services. The more you spend, the more you save. Plus, we're doubling our internet speeds, which means you're getting the island's fastest internet at up to 30% less than the competition. It's like Christmas all year round. Visit logic.ky to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, the board good for the future. We voting yes. The board good for the income. We voting yes. The board good for the children. We voting yes. I'm headed out for me, for every family. We voting yes, yes. Referendum day, yes, yes. We voting yes, yes, yes. I voting yes, yes. We voting yes, yes. Referendum day, referendum day. We voting yes, we voting yes. I'm voting eggs. We voting yes.
Black Friday starts early in the Georgetown Shopping District this Thursday with the Island Plaza and Kirk Freeport. From 5 till 8 p.m. this Thursday, the 28th of November, the Island Plaza, Cardinal Avenue, and Bayshore Mall will all be open till 8 p.m. to give you the first chance to get huge discounts on jewelry, watches, fragrances, sunglasses, and accessories, and much more at the Black Friday sale. Start your Black Friday shopping early this Thursday, the 28th of November in Georgetown. Search the Georgetown Shopping District on Facebook for more information.
Think about something that makes you happy. Did it make you smile? We know it did, because that's what we do at Sagicor. Put smiles on our clients' faces every day. With a large range of products to cover your family, it's no wonder most locals choose Sagicor for their life insurance needs. Serving the community for over 25 years. Let us put a smile on your face. Call your Sagicor advisor today.
Do you still have questions about the cruise berthing facility? Would you like more information? Come and hear officials from government and Verdant Isle Port partners speak about the project and have your questions answered. Public meetings are happening across Grand Cayman until December 5th. Visit supportourtourism.com for all meeting dates. Be informed because truth matters.
Support our tourism.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me is Miss Teresa Pitcairn. You've heard all of the phone numbers given out for the Record. Just want to remind you that our phone lines are open as well. We know that you're all intent on listening to this very informative explanation that has been given by Ms. Teresa on the process of judicial review and also providing us with some facts as well. But please feel free to call in if you feel that you have something to contribute as well. Before I get to those questions, Ms. Teresa, you mentioned a particular section of our Constitution in relation to environmental protection. And I just want to say, being involved in 2008, 2009 in the constitutional review process, that one of the things that we lauded ourselves for in our Constitution, among several other things, was the fact that we put in provisions for the protection of our environment. It was something that was fairly novel in terms of having it in a Constitution. We, at that time, and probably still are one of the few jurisdictions that has such a provision in its constitution, and we were extremely proud, of that as well. So, those who may feel that we may be under assault in one way or the other in terms of our development also need to recognize the fact that we did put those provisions in our constitutions for a reason. They were put in there with well-intended purposes.
Yeah, so probably prescient in retrospect. But as I always say on the show, we have done certain things right in the Cayman Islands. When you compare where we started and where we are today, we have made some pretty significant decisions especially in relation to our economy. We kind of didn't do as well as we could with the social issues, but now we're at least talking about it. Mm-hmm. But what I also wanted to remind you of was Section 19 also of the Constitution, which speaks about the lawful administrative action, which says all decisions and acts of public officials must be lawful, rational, proportionate, and procedurally fair. So it must be lawful, rational, proportionate, and procedurally fair. Every person whose interests have been adversely affected by such a decision or act has the right to request and be given written reasons for that decision or act. That's also important, and that's in our Constitution. So when you started to raise certain questions, which you will discuss as this conversation proceeds, it costs money if you're going to take these things to court. So be mindful not only of the cost to get the lawyers and get things done, but also absorbing the costs if you lose, not just your costs, but the person to whom you brought, so that's important. Yeah.
Okay, so my first question had to do with why the application for judicial review now. Why at this stage when, well, it wasn't too long ago that we had the referendum bill that came into law that was passed by the Legislative Assembly. So there wasn't a whole lot of time in between, but it seems as if the answer may be we first tried to negotiate or try to reason with the government. And we advised them that what our further action would be if we didn't get a satisfactory response. When I say we, I'm talking about the trust.
So to put that in context, this morning we weren't sure quite what we were going to discuss. So I didn't really come prepared. But these are things that I normally carry around with me from time to time. And it just so happened that I had it in my bag this morning and had been following this whole process.
Right.
So my understanding, certainly where the National Trust is concerned, is that they disclosed a number of press releases asking a number of questions. Now, I don't know what those press releases stated, but my impression and understanding from folks that have been involved with that is that they The government was notified of the concerns that the National Trust had, and in fact, some bodies just sent me a number of the releases on my. See, everybody listens to your show.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, but this is pretty long. But in a nutshell, the National Trust has issued 3 press releases over the course of 4 years. 4 years now, and I didn't even realize it was that long. But the National Trust has issued 3 press releases over the course of 4 years on this major project, consistently calling for critical questions to be answered and full assessments to be completed prior to the commencement of any work. The National Trust has raised concerns over the potential impacts on the marine environment, notably the coral reefs and the 2 historical shipwrecks, the Balboa and the Cali, I think it is.
Cali, yes. Yeah. Cali. Wreck of the Cali.
That's right. The National Trust has not taken a stance in favor of or against the port project and believes that there is currently insufficient information to do so. The National Trust requests is that prior to proceeding further, studies such as an updated environmental impact assessment. Seeing this phone that I have is too old, but so guys, just bear with me. But they're asking that a proper and current impact assessment be performed and the resulting information be made available to the general public before the referendum is held. The National Trust is duty-bound to its members and to the general public to act as guardian of the matters of the environment and places of historical significance, and has been doing so for over 32 years. The Trust stands proud of all its achievements to date and remains fully committed to preserving all that makes the Cayman Islands unique. So this isn't a conversation that just began insofar as the National Trust is concerned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to go to commercial break. We also have a caller on hold. First, the commercial break. We will take the caller as soon as we return. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
I'm starting my shopping early this year. What you want for Christmas?
All I really want for Christmas is for my packages to arrive on time.
Plan ahead to get your shipments into Seaboard Marine on time and avoid the holiday rush. Check out their great less-than-container shipment rates. Seaboard saves you time, money, and convenience with consolidation and repacking options available. Take a load off Santa this holiday season. Shop, ship, and save on your small packages with Seaboard Marine. Give us a call at 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com/grand-cayman for quotes or additional details.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
This Saturday, November 30, just before Christmas, you can be the grand prize winner of $40,000 with your Rotary Central Music Extravaganza ticket purchase of only $25. Win that grand prize of $40,000, second prize $4,000, 6 $1,000 prizes, and more. This Saturday, November 30, the 24th Rotary Central Music Extravaganza at Royal Palms, West Bay Road from 7 p.m. Get your golden tickets now on sale through Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, Funky Tangs, Hurley's, Costules, A.L. Thompson's, Foster's, Walker's Road Rubis, Savannah Rubis, or at last resort 936-1344. Every ticket funds a cause. Rotary Central, 50 community projects over 33 years. Your ticket, your chance, your community. Rotary, connecting the world.
Starting November 1st to December 31st,
You can earn double points every time you use your Fidelity credit or prepaid cards. That's not all. When you use your card on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, Fidelity's giving you triple points. That means you have a whole weekend to rack up 3 times the points for travel, merchandise, and more. And with added protection of instant text alerts, 90-day purchase protection, and chip and PIN technology, you can shop with confidence. Fidelity. We're good for you.
Paramount Carpet pre-Christmas blowout sale is back for 1 whole week starting Monday, November 25th through Saturday, November 30th. Save big with assorted remnant tile, 200 square foot, $100 a pallet. Assorted remnant granite slabs, $300 each. Ceramic tiles as low as 75 cents per square foot. Porcelain tiles as low as 99 cents a square foot. Area rug, 35% off. Carpets, 25% off. And all other in-house tiles, 20% off. Cash and carry. It's the big blowout sale at Paramount Carpet, located 317 North Sound Road, Industrial Park. Open Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 7:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. Call 949-5000.
We do a whole lot more than just cover your floor at Paramount Carpets.
Yes, the board good for the future. We voting yes. The board good for the income. We voting yes. The board good for the children. We voting yes. I'm headed out for me, for every family. We voting yes, yes. Referendum day, yes, yes. We voting yes, yes, yes. I voting yes, yes. We voting yes, yes. Referendum day, referendum day. We voting yes, we voting yes. I'm voting X, I'm voting X. We voting yes.
It's that time of year again when our spelling bees are buzzing around with activity. Join us at the Red Bay Church of God on November 26th and 27th to show your support for our best young spellers during the 2019 staging of the RBC Royal Bank Primary Spelling Bee and the Lions Club of Grand Cayman's Secondary Spelling Bee competitions. The spell-offs begin at 10 a.m. each day. Don't be late. Brought to you by the Department of Education Services, RBC Royal Bank, and the Lions Club of Grand Cayman.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me Ms. Teresa Pitcairn, and we hope and we trust that our discussion that we're having is of interest to you. We do know that the things that we are discussing will have a profound impact one way or the other on the Cayman Islands. It is quite possible that individuals or organizations may find themselves on the wrong side of history, because at the end of the day, if we end up with a situation where there is no enhanced cruise berthing facilities and the cruise tourism is affected adversely by that, someone will have to answer to that. If we do end up with a cruise berthing facility that ends up damaging our environment, and as a result of that creating permanent damage to our tourism industry, someone will have to answer for that as well. So that is why decisions that are being made have to be taken carefully, cautiously, and with a recognition that there could be dire consequences as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Oh, is it me?
Yes, you are. Go right ahead.
Okay, morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Listen to me a long time and listening to me, but I didn't hear anything. I wasn't never the subject concerned. When I listened of the dock,
okay,
I still stand the dock is a ruination to this place. And I would like you to read that article you promised to read for me, so people can, not only me one got that view, but anybody who have been to sea and know the consequences of an open port we don't have a secure port. This thing is subject to all weathers. If you know, last week when we had 2 days of little light nor'wester, where were the ships? So spots. On top of that, if this construction even start and you get a nor'wester, it got to be interrupted because the damage it could do has undone what they have done. On another thing, I thought it was only an acre that they could clear. No, they cleared 12 acres. So tell me now where the fill coming for that, if it's not from 7 Mile Beach. For a 6-foot hole, do your math and figure how many cubic feet of fill it is in a hole. And not only that, but why are we going to ruin the place when we're making money right now off of the tourists? We only got 4 mega ships now, 3 now. One thing was work by the end of this year. And what happened to the 100 and odd other ships that come by here during the regular time? That, you think I could dry up? And by the same token, we've been having 5 or 6 ships come in here one time. And what happens to those that can't bust? You know, they lie on the hook. The hook is our salvation because not only are we preserving what God has given us, but it's not for me and you because we're just but gone now. Our generation.
Yes.
But the generation to come will curse us for not protecting this place.
And our Constitution, sections in our Constitution that empowers us, that makes it obligatory that we protect our environment for future generations.
I know that's what's supposed to be, but who cares? Once they come in here with money and blind your eye. And then on top of that, the dock will be ours, you know. They say 25 years, but by the time 25 years come, they have not made enough to pay for that dock. And that's not the only thing. Them holes got to be maintained constantly when it's filled. It got to be dredged. Every time it pop up to danger level for the ship, it got to be dragged down because you got a ship drawing through 2 feet draft. You got to have a hole at least 4 to 6 feet deep, so that they would not have no encounter with the bottom. And you need, talking about that somebody need 4 acres to rig around. They need a lot of space to turn a ship that size back on its course. So please, the public, if we can get together and vote no on the 19th, we are ahead of these people who want to destroy this place. And on top of that, the same ship controlling here a lot now, but when that dock is finished, that belongs to them for 25 years. So where are our revenue from the tourists is coming? Besides, another thing, we don't have the infrastructure for 5,000 people in Georgetown one time, because that place is, when you see people in the shop there, you will walk on and pass it and go back on board the ship. We'll have less spending money ashore than what we're having now.
So you're not satisfied with the answers that the ProPort people are given in relation to the control of the numbers, and you're not satisfied with what they're saying in relation to that. You're not satisfied in relation to the revenues that will come about as a result of that, and the fact that they have said that the port will remain under control, Caymanian control.
Listen to me. That's wind in the air. That's blowing against the wind. Because every other place that them same ship went into, who controlled the dock? Don't they control it for 25 years? So what?
No, but I think it's only fair for us to look at the agreement that we have here. We can't compare what has happened in other jurisdictions. We have to look at what we have documented here and what is intended to occur here, in all fairness.
Oh, see? Listen to me. Let me tell you something. Anybody who got any love for this country and knowing the ill effects it will have on this place, because when it's gone, it's gone. Now, we are making a good amount of money off of these people. The same harbor that was producing around $14 to $19 million a year will be gone. You know, more snorkeling in Georgetown. Now, you want to sacrifice that for somebody because they tell you they want a dock? Why all these many years that we have, the tourism have grown, and people keep on all over the world they go. They don't have boats. There's some places do have, but we don't have a harbor like other places we got. You just take Bahamas. Bahamas got 2 islands. That second island there performs a natural harbor to put, and it not getting that ocean hit direct flow. But any wind we get, besides northeast or southeast, we're in trouble. Southwest, northwest, the dock is closed.
Okay, so caller, before I let you go, just one final question for you. Are you opposed to the dock being built where it is, or are you opposed to any enhanced cruise berthing facility anywhere on the island?
Any place you put it, you would destroy the North Sound, but that's the only one that you could have a year-round operation with, because you could come far enough in that you landlock and you have a protection from the open sea. But any port you talk about, we're what I call it. And don't think that they can come up spots here when it's northeast, southeast around. The only time they can unload people is when it's a nor'wester. And now we have a seasonal dock for millions of dollars, and then everybody control it. What's the 12 acres for? Who could put down another dock there in Georgetown? Because you don't need 12 acres moving the boats all over the place. Who's a natural attraction you make money off of now for the whims of somebody else? Now everybody coming here see us as suckers for the dollar bill, and anything they want when you want it, sir. It's not any question of what will it do for me? What will it do for our country? What effect will it have? Whether it's beneficial or not beneficial? Anyhow, Mr. Hosea, please read that for me. It's not going to help much, but anyway, my 2 bits will be in there.
Thank you you very much for your contribution.
And I would like somebody else to hear what we had to say, not today, but 5 years ago.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. We've reached the top of the hour, 9 o'clock headline news. Folks, please stay tuned for the record with Miss Teresa Pitcairn. We'll continue after headline news.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man.
It's only 2 species that we have, on Island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice. For today's biggest news.
Access to information.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team.
Today's biggest news.
12 undergraduate students of the International College of the Cayman Islands who enrolled in the fall 2019 local seminar had more than an educational journey back in time as they were immersed in the history, culture, and heritage of all 3 islands. The seminar commenced with a one-day Know Your Cayman Islands workshop. The class then covered 2 days of tours on Grand Cayman, making stops at several cultural and historical sites. The EU Parliament has approved incoming Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyer's new team by a large majority. Members of the European Parliament voted in favor of the new commissioners by 461 to 157 against. There were 89 abstentions. A Russian farm has given its dairy cows virtual reality headsets in a bid to reduce their anxiety. The herd donned VR systems adapted for the structural features of cow heads and were shown unique Summerfield simulation programs. Moscow's Ministry of Food and Agriculture cited research, which they say has shown a link between cows' emotional experience and its milk yield. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller. 12 undergraduate students.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Miss Teresa Pitcairn. We have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, how you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just calling to regards to a statement you made. I'm not sure if it was you or one of your colleagues there made a few minutes ago when that gentleman was on the phone with you guys. The statement said that that we're comparing our contract and our situation to other islands, other ports around the Caribbean.
Yeah, I can explain that. What the caller was saying basically that was you look at other jurisdictions where ports were built and they have no control over the port. And he was saying that we would not have control over the port here for 25 years.
So do you know, over the course of the 25 years where the government is splitting the per head fee, which is how the government pays the cruise line back for the port, how much the government will be paying the cruise lines for the port?
I don't know the exact numbers, but the Minister for Tourism and the Deputy Premier has laid out the figures and pointed out that, yes, that part of those fees would be going to the cruise line. So it may be, in terms of a dollar figure, a smaller amount, but over a long period of time, it will end up being more, something to that effect. But yes, that has been conceded.
About 400 million is what the Deputy Premier Mose and the Premier Allen said. 400 million over the course of the 25 years. Okay. So that's double for the project.
Okay.
Right? And then what I was really calling about, because I could go on all day, but what I was really calling about was, we're jumping on this bandwagon to build this port, right? And we're going full force with it. This is something that is dead and done. All the other countries that have done it, that have failed with it, are done with it. They don't want to go back to it. They just wish they never did it. So what I was calling to say was that we need to be mindful. We do need to observe and understand what happened in other countries. Not just in terms of who has control over the port, but, of the entire port projects throughout the Caribbean. Because these same people that we're bringing here to do this job are some of the same people that went to those countries to do those jobs that were failures. And we just simply, if you can't prove that it's not going to be a failure, then, there's no point in doing it at all.
All right. Okay. Very good point. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, for calling in and expressing those views as well. Ms. T, I'm thinking that, people have made that comparison about the experiences that other jurisdictions have had in relation to building cruise berthing facilities, and many have fallen on the case of Falmouth in Jamaica. And my thought is, well, first I would point out that most of the people that I have spoken to in relation to their position on the cruise berthing facility, their primary concern has to do with damage to the environment. Their primary concern. And my thought is, what if that concern was not there, if it was a situation where we didn't have to do anything to adversely affect the environment? What would people's position would be in relation to a port, enhanced port project? What would their opposition be then in relation to it? And that's a rhetorical question. We have another call. I give you a chance to comment before go to the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine. Thank you, Rambo here. Mr. O.C., the guest.
Yes.
Morning. Yeah, Mr. O.C., just cooperate, am I right? Every 2 minutes.
Sure.
Like I tell you last month or 5 weeks ago, right? Whatever the outcome of the sport thing, life goes on. I lose no net rest over it. Yeah, see, that's the truth. Yeah, find out about it. And like I said again, I don't hear nobody's remorse. If you go down that pipeline, that's no problem. So, Mr. O.C., what about now? Different. What problem to me, immerse me with respect to the dilemma, right? December 12th, you have the UK thing, election going on. Yeah, right? In the end of January, what outcome that be? You understand? So, like I said again, you got Bracer in Park. What was it, 19th? She come like at a stall now with this thing, right? With the judicial review, whatever it's called, right? And Mr. O.C., we live in a polarized world, right? Intergenerational.
More and more
right?
so, yeah.
Right, and we live in democracy. Right? We got to change the ban laws. You see where I come from? And come New Year's, right? We are creating incentives, right? Which is intact. ventures like the herb thing. Well, night, the herb thing. Like, decriminalize it, legalize it. Because, like I say again, if the port will go through, my aspect of it, no. You go about dispensary here. Yeah? It's a scapegoat, but it's a reality check. And, like I say, Mr. Ozy, we live in a cultural impact. It's a kind of cultural impact. So, we got like, look at all the revenue stream, or the gains, or the market, or the capitals. You know what I'm saying? To fulfill what's going on. Right? And Mr. Ozy, last time, like I tell again, I don't lose it, don't let rest over this now. I'm telling you.
Yes.
We did cooler. Thank you, sir. Cool, man. And thank you, Mr. Visa.
Thank you very much. That's a good approach to take. You know, at the end of the day, life must go on, port or no port. But whether or not people's lives, their livelihood will be affected one way or the other by decisions that are made, and like I said, that are made, and like I said before, it is quite possible that one side may end up being on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, the question that you raised, that if we didn't have the environmental issues to consider, I would also want to consider the cost. You know, the figures have to be fairly accurate. How much it's going to cost us, how much the people who are involved in the industry will make. I was listening to someone speak the other day about the congestion on our beaches, the congestion over by Stingray City. Look at the areas that people visit when they come by a cruise, or, make those kind of comparative analysis. And you haven't really given me a lot of time to sit down and think about it, but those are some of the immediate things that I would think of. Definitely the cost us. And, what happens, for example, if our economy is not as buoyant as it is now? How are we going to make those payments?
Yes, yeah. Okay, we have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ozzy.
Good morning, Ram. How are you?
Morning.
I'm very thankful and highly blessed and very tired. I'm doing my chores myself. I'm not paying nobody to mess up my business. Good morning. Good morning, T.
Morning, hun.
Listen to me now. I'm not talking about no port. I'm talking about something that to me is more important than a port. That I'm stammering now. That is a senior, almost 70 years old, that's been in the care, in a rental care through needs assessment unit. I left 2 messages with one individual there, and I'm not going to no return call on this. But the story that what I left as a message, it was this: I am so fed up, disgusted about what has been, what has not been done, and what is being done. Meaning, family members have to support that individual because that individual has a little savings. You understand where I'm coming from? And you can hear that I am Rex, right? I am Rex. Listen now, I'm going to try to get it a little bit slower. This individual has been in the care of a rental situation through government, which needs assessment unit is in charge of. And they have not come up yet with any rental payments yet. So that's 2 months, almost 3 months now. 2 months has already been paid out of somebody else. It's not that individual saving now, But they want the family members to go into that individual savings to pay back who have paid that $1,300. It was for 2 months, six a month, including water and lights. But then they still not getting no food card because they're giving you cards now. So that is coming from another individual family member. The individual that paid for the 2 months rent, $1,300, were told that they're not going to get that back.
So what decision has the needs assessment unit made in relation to it? Have they approved the request, the application, or have they disapproved it?
They are walking on their hands. This is a part of my messages. They are walking on their hands with their heads turned back ways. They are not interested in the senior citizen who is almost 70 years old. But yet they can be out there be there supporting them little young girls. They're getting 3 and 4 by different men, rent, food, clothes, everything. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Does the need assessment unit look at a person's, not only the person's ability to support themselves, but the family members' ability to support themselves as well, to support them as well?
Listen to me. It looks to me that way.
Mm-hmm.
But
And is that wrong? Is that wrong?
Yeah, man, because listen now, DCFSA, I also talked to someone there too. DCFSA, it's a shame. Cynical, I'm not cynical. These near settlement units should have been taken very long. That should have been sorted out before they started even work about the rent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay, well, keep hammering away at it. I can only encourage you to keep continue to push. We have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are you, Osi?
I'm fine. How are you?
Not too bad. Good morning to your guest, too.
Morning. Yes, Mr. Reese.
Yeah. Osi, with all due respect, you know, when it comes to this discussion on the radio, with you, and you pro-port.
No. You, what gives you, makes you believe that?
Come on.
What makes you believe I'm pro-port? I try to be as balanced as possible. I try to be as balanced. You have never heard me say to anyone, vote yes or vote no.
No, you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. Listen, Osi, listen carefully.
Okay.
Listen, you see, any disruption with what we have out there now, as far as dredging is concerned. Listen, I worked on a dredge, you know, right in the North Sound, coming into Mitchell Creek, where Governor's Harbor, what they call Governor's Harbor. Now, all that was swamp, you know. And all that was put there, that marl was put there by a dredge. And when you disrupt the marine life or any corals, anything on the water, it ain't no about that you can grow back the coral, you know. This thing took millions of years to get there, you know. Listen, Osi, what these cruise ship people are doing, they are trying to control the port for 25 years. And after that, let me tell you something, me and you not going to be around, and any mistake that they have made with the harbor, and by disrupting the harbor, will also disrupt 7 Mile Beach. Now, you might have other people come on the radio and tell you a lot of bull about it. They're not going to disrupt 7 Mile Beach, but they don't know what they're talking about. Listen, when you use a dredge and you cut that ocean floor, my friend, you have destroyed millions of years of things getting together to Mother Nature. The port definitely should not be dredged. If they can't bring in a ship without the port being dredged, then I would tell them to forget it, because everywhere that those cruise ships, people have gone. They not went there in the people's best interest. They went there for them to profit, make their millions, and continue to make the millions, and that is what they want to do with Cayman. But I tell you the truth, OC, the majority of Cayman people, and I talk about experienced, well-educated Cayman people that I've spoken to, they are not wanting this port, you know. But they're not coming out and saying it. And the reason why they're not coming out and saying it, because they stand to make some, and that is where the undermining fact lies. Right now at this stage, you see, I have a bit of advice to you. Step down from where you are now for anything concerning with the port. Because if you
Caller, you have no basis for that, and don't let me treat you now like how I've treated others. If you don't come with the facts in terms of telling me, proving to me that I'm pro-port, then you and I will no longer engage in a conversation on this show.
Let me tell you something, I will say. Listen, when you mention...
You don't... I'm not going to allow you to publicly make statements unless you have the facts to prove it.
Let me this question then. Why it is that you, just a while back, you just said about the cruise ship having ports and Cayman cannot go by an example of what...
What we were talking about there, caller, had to do with control of the port in terms of the length of time. I said to that caller, you need to look at whatever agreement we in the Cayman Islands will have in place as it relates to the control of the port. That was what I said. But I'm going to ask you to leave us there, but I'm going to caution you again. Do not make any accusations against me unless you have the facts to prove it. Okay? We need to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Back by popular demand for November only. It's your sale, your choice at Vamp Motors. Vamp is making it easier than ever for you to drive home a real deal, where you can choose how much you'll save on your new vehicle and whether you want to get cash back or add-on upgrades to it. Save big on the new Ford Explorer, F-150, Edge, EcoSport, and Focus with up to $5,000 off select vehicles during our November sale. Get huge savings on the Toyota RAV4, Rush, and Fortuner as well. Best of all, you decide if you'll take the full discount, get cash back, or upgrade your new ride. It's your sale, your choice, but only during November. So come by Vamp Motors on Walker's Road, where your new SUV or truck is waiting for you to drive home.
Don't miss the early Black Friday savings at Brand Source Home Gallery in Industrial Park. Beat the crowds and save now on Samsung TVs. Get a 65-inch Samsung 4K TV for only $599, or a 55-inch 4K for only $449, and 45-inch 4Ks are just $299. But hurry to Brand Source now because supplies are limited. Brand Source Home Gallery in Industrial Park on Dorsey Drive. Beat the crowds and save now. Call 623-5000 for more information.
Back by popular demand for November only. It's your sale, your choice at Vamp Motors. Vamp is making it easier than ever for you to drive home a real deal, where you can choose how much you'll save on your new vehicle and whether you want to get cash back or add-on upgrades to it. Save big on the new Ford Explorer, F-150, Edge, EcoSport, and Focus with up to $5,000 off select vehicles during our November sale. Get huge savings on the Toyota RAV4, Rush, and Fortuner as well. Best of all, you decide if you'll take the full discount, get cash back, or upgrade your new ride. It's your sale, your choice, but only during November. So come by Vamp Motors on Walker's Road, where your new SUV or truck is waiting for you to drive home.
ValueMed Pharmacy is your community care partner for health and wellness needs. We offer convenient prescription processing at the counter and online at value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com, with pickup available at the Walkers Road or Boddentown location. We also accept transfer prescriptions from other pharmacies. More than just a pharmacy, shop ValueMed for personal care and beauty products from trusted brands, perfume and gift sets, Hallmark and greeting cards, baby clothes, footwear, handbags, swimwear, home decor, toys, school supplies, and stationery. And home convalescence aids like wheelchairs, walkers, crutches, canes, and hospital beds. With 2 locations to serve you, Walkers Road in Georgetown and in Evron Plaza, Boddentown. Visit ValueMed, more than just a pharmacy.
Kirk Freeport's Black Friday weekend sale is bigger than ever, with up to 50% off an incredible selection of watches, jewelry, and accessories. And Kirk Freeport is giving early access to the sale on Thursday night, starting at 5 p.m. Bayshore Mall and Cardinal Avenue will stay open until 8 p.m., and the Strand will remain open until 9 p.m. Get unbeatable discounts from brands including John Hardy, Roberto Coin, Swarovski, Bulgari, Chopard, Marco Bisigo, Brogian, Masica, Doves, Ippolita, Lagos, Kipling, and many more. Plus, take an additional 10% off all non-branded merchandise. It's Black Friday all weekend at Kirk Freeport. Visit kirkfreeport.com for details.
Imagine a Cayman where you can go out and enjoy an evening with your family and get home safe and sound because you decided to do exactly what you said you would.
Or a night out with your girlfriends to bring in the new year with plans to head to as many venues as you can.
What about a happy hour with your colleagues to celebrate without worrying about who is driving you home? Well, guess what? Your wish is my command. Take the pledge, designate a driver, or ride the Purple Ribbon bus on New Year's Eve. We want you to arrive alive, 345. This message was brought to you by Radio Cayman and the National Drug Council.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have one more call and then we're going to close the phone lines off temporarily, and not because we don't want to talk with you, but there are things that we want to discuss in relation to this referendum and the referendum process that people need to know about, because it is happening now. It is live. People are receiving postal ballots. Their votes could possibly be affected by this application for judicial review, or the results of that application, as well. So we want to explain certain things to you. We have some questions in relation to persons who are incapacitated and whether or not they're allowed to vote. Ms. Teresa got a question on that. We want to answer that for those individuals as well. So let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning, OC, to you and Teresa.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm very thankful. OC, I thought that, when I heard that the government was going to be having meetings, I felt very, very encouraged that the government saw fit to have meetings, public consultation regarding the sport.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest controversial things that there is currently in existence in the island.
Mm-hmm.
But what the government done is they shot themselves in the foot when they're having these meetings and you're not allowed to, there's not the questioning that would normally take place. You got to write down these questions and submit them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the government has failed miserably. They have failed, and they had the opportunity to really engage the public and to really be. This is where transparency is. Mm-hmm. And if that level of transparency is there, then the government can go in and say, listen, hey, look, we did everything that we had to do.
Mm-hmm.
We had our public meetings. We allowed for public participation. But to treat people in that manner is just like the mushroom effect. Feeding your BS and keeping in the dark. That is the mushroom effect. So because you hear these people coming telling us that they got some lab that they can rebuild coral. What load of rubbish! If that clown had a lab that he could rebuild coral, he would be Onassis would have nothing on him.
Oh dear.
Onassis would never have nothing on him. You know how many islands, how many countries in this world that would love to have a beautiful coral formation like what we have in Cayman? That's why we're the envy of the world to a certain extent. And yet we're gonna take somebody who come here, fly in here in a plane, and tell us that he can rebuild coral. Man, they gotta really stop taking us for a bunch of idiots. That's what they take us for, small island idiots. And our government is promoting that rubbish. Our government is promoting that rubbish. How naive.
Mm-hmm. But caller, are you? And I know I'll probably be accused of being pro-port again from someone, not necessarily you. But are you aware that there are countries and there are instances where coral has been regrown? Only yesterday I was reading an article, and it is entitled "Lobsters and Octopuses Are Back: The Kenyan Women Leading a Reef Revival." And if you get an opportunity, read that story, because I don't think that it is that is a fallacy, a total fallacy that coral can't be created.
I think though it's the
scale. On a large scale, the scale of it
because
is.
Because I just had a look at the article myself,
yes. Uh-huh.
And the scale at which it's intended here is far outweighs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting you there, caller. Go right ahead.
I don't think that there's not such a thing as coral restoration.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone to tell me that he can sit in a lab and grow coral, No. He had to show that to me because I'm not that naive. He gonna have to show that to me. He can write an article he want. I want proof is in the pudding, okay? And I don't buy that because yes, there is called restitution. I mean, that could be argued. We got the people over in Little Cayman. We got the people over in Little Cayman who say that it's not possible to understand what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, we got really start treating the people of this island. We have some very intelligent people here, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We said when them people right
around the table here, right in front of me, right in front of me.
In front of you. We
Yes.
got some very intelligent people in this island. But one thing about us is that we will never, ever rely on the expertise that we have within our own. As long as you don't come from across the pond, you are nothing. You are nothing at all in this country. But yet we got expertise right here, and we don't utilize them. We rather go and pay $50,000 an hour that as opposed to getting it done here at a cheaper scale and with it being done with heart and soul. Anyway, you know, I get so emotional and you know about this thing.
Yes.
We'll just leave it at that.
But keep the dialogue going because that is important, and that is what our little experiment here in democracy allows us to do, and we want to keep that conversation going, caller. Thank you very much for all the contributions that you make every time you call in. We're going to take a commercial break. We have one more caller that has come through, and then after that, we're going to turn the mic back over to Miss Teresa. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
This Saturday, November 30, just before Christmas, you can be the grand prize winner of $40,000 with your Rotary Central Music Extravaganza ticket purchase of only $25. Win that grand prize of $40,000, second prize $4,000, 6 $1,000 prizes, and more. This Saturday, November 30, the 24th Rotary Central Music Extravaganza at Royal Palms, West Bay Road from 7 p.m. Get your golden tickets now on sale through Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, Funky Tangs, Hurley's, Costules, A.L. Thompson's, Foster's, Walker's Road Rubis, Savannah Rubis, or at last resort 9361344. Every ticket funds a cause. Rotary Central, 50 community projects over 33 years. Your ticket, your chance, your community. Rotary, connecting the world.
Starting November 1st to December 31st, you can earn double points every time you use your Fidelity credit or prepaid cards. That's not all. When you use your card on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, Fidelity's giving you triple points. That means you have a whole weekend to rack up 3 times the points for travel, merchandise, and more. And with added protection of instant text alerts, 90-day purchase protection, and chip and PIN technology, you can shop with confidence. Fidelity. We're good for you.
Don't miss the early Black Friday savings at BrandSource Home Gallery in Industrial Park. Beat the crowds and save now on Samsung TVs. Get a 65-inch Samsung 4K TV for only $599, or a 55-inch 4K for only $449, and 45-inch 4Ks are just $299. But hurry to BrandSource now because supplies are limited. BrandSource Home Gallery in Industrial Park on Dorsey Drive. Beat the crowds and save now. Call 623-5000 for more information.
Ocean Med is open for appointments at Bayshore Mall. The only healthcare facility on island designed exclusively for women offers a wide range of radiology-based medical screening and diagnostic tests, such as mammograms and ultrasounds, with state-of-the-art technology, full OBGYN services, a complimentary healthcare coordinator, and a stunning facility equipped with calming, multi-sensory exam suites. Ocean Med is dedicated to providing competitively priced healthcare excellence to women in our community. Book your appointment today. Call 946-2326 or visit oceanmed.ky.
Traffic congestion is bad for your mental health, bad for your wallet, and bad for the environment. Alternative commuting habits are the solution. Cycling, walking, busing, or carpooling will help save you money, benefit your health, conserve energy, and help the environment. Do your part. Visit the Ministry Facebook page for details of plans for bicycle lanes, the latest bus schedules, and be an energy advocate.
Well, Mahendra, how was your first show last week?
It was really good. It's something I have to get used to.
You're the good kid. You're the good kid. Well, I heard we're having Miss Tara Nielsen from Acts of Random Kindness this week.
Yes, we are. We look forward to seeing her.
Kill 'em with kindness. Kill 'em with kindness. Kill 'em, kill 'em, kill 'em with kindness.
Well, do you know what the word of the week is this week?
Yes, I do. The word of the week is expeditious.
And what that word mean?
It means acting or doing with speed and efficiency.
And how you spell that?
EXPEDITIOUS.
So join us this Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. Wait, that's Jared's part.
You can join us this Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. right here on Radio K9, 89.9 FM, and check us out on YouTube Live. A program for all people by young people. Youth Flags, more than talk.
This referendum is bigger than the port itself. This is going to teach our people that, yes, we can. We can make decisions. We can stop roads from being closed. We can stop markets from being developed. We can get jobs. We can be trained. Never again will we be second-class citizens in our own country begging at the doors of the NAU. I implore you to come out and vote in this referendum. We can
For the
change
record,
our
with Orrett Connor.
circumstances.
For information that matter, For the Record with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio K-Man.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last half an hour for the show and our last caller for the morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. and your guests.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm not saying I'm pro the port, but I think there's been a lot of hypothetical jargon, if you want to call it that has gone on over the months. People have been discussing this. I think we are not looking at what could happen to us in the long term if this does not go ahead. I'm not suggesting that we should lose any of our underwater environment, but as I said years ago when they were talking about the mangroves, one of these days we're going to end up eating mangrove leaves if you don't look out, because you want to protect every single leaf, and people starving on the other hand for the lack of a little bit of common sense. But anyway, that's water under the bridge. I think I'm not saying there won't be any damage done. The people have said that themselves. It will be a certain amount of damage, but the way that they have presented this project, I don't think they're planning to try to destroy the country. I think it's going to. They have the expertise. They have proven a lot of what they've said all over the world. We're probably the last little drop in the world that they haven't built a cruise port like this. And to be honest, I think we should have had a port years ago. And my son is a captain of one of the tenders, so I'm not trying to say I'm saving a job for him or not saving a job for him. So that's an argument between me and him. But nevertheless, I'm looking at the benefit to the country. I think we will regret it if we don't have this in years to come, because we've been told, and I'm not saying every single thing that has been said has been by belief, but I think there's enough checks and balances in this agreement that they will not destroy this country. And we've been overlooking all of the damage that's been done over the years every day when there was ships anchor, and I'm sure something gets damaged every time they drop anchor and chain. So I'm not saying that we should destroy the reefs that are pristine reefs that's right in the harbour where is very close proximity to access to the passengers that come on a cruise and so on. But if we do not have the port, they made it quite clear, the proposals, that, and we know every time they get a ship, they're getting it bigger and bigger. Eventually, they will be dropping us off. They've already dropped us off with the Oasis-class ships, which we are being deprived of that because they bypass us because we can't accommodate them, and they will refuse to use the tenders for these certain ships. And not only that, these mega ships are based in the Caribbean year-round, so we could benefit from them through other days of the week when it's quiet, that they could have a much more balanced business aspect of it, that people could have more of a steady income from this business instead of just a sporadic 5 or 8 ships occasionally, which is more probably than we can cope with at times. And then there's many days that we don't have anything at all to feed the people. I think we have a good agreement made. I don't think we could ever get a port financed any better than what the proposal is. And I must say, I've been to 2 public meetings and one of the Contractors Association with these people present. And looking back at what was done last year, I think it was at the Family Life Center, as far as I'm concerned, it was very ill-mannered and disrespectful the way it was carried out with the questions and the action that people had there. I don't blame the government for doing the questions in a form that they have done it or are doing it, because it's a more decent way of dealing with it. People can ask any question they want, and they're obligated to answer it, whether directly or indirectly. And I just think we're not putting any confidence in anything that the government is proposing to do through this conglomerate of the port developers. We may not feel the loss of this with the bigger ships overnight. It'll take years before it'll really affect us. I'm not saying but every time we put this off, I'm sure the costs are going to be going up. Every year it probably costs more if we don't bite the bullet and bite the bullet and get it done. No. So I'm not after destroying anything, but I think, in all fairness, the public is not giving proper credit to the presentations, and the people can be held to the presentations. And they have done this over and over. They have hundreds, I wouldn't say hundreds, but dozens of ports under construction now, and I'm sure they have to do the same thing for a lot of them. Maybe some areas are not as concerned as others. They may not have the type of environment that we have, and I am not suggesting that we should destroy our environment, because I believe that is the key attraction that we have here for divers, at least. So I think we just need to be fair. I think if we lose this opportunity, we'll never have that opportunity again. And I think they've worked on this long enough that they should know what they're doing at this time. And I'm not saying that I'm pro the port, other than I'm pointing out the pros and cons that we will face if we don't have it. I'm not saying it's the ideal place to put it, but they have proven that they can build ports in areas like that. I was a bit concerned about what could happen in a northwester or a hurricane. I don't want to see the concrete pile up on Hogstye Bay either. From that, they had a port that withstood a Category 5 in the Bahamas recently. So I believe they're capable of doing something that will withstand the hurricane. And in all fairness, they need to be paid back, but they're not asking us to put up a penny. The something that they're going to take from the head tax or travel tax, whatever you call it, to me is negligible. And after the 25 years, which is, I won't be around to see when it's paid, I'm sure, but at some point it'll be paid for, and we won't have to continue paying for it. Yes. They're going to design it, build it, maintain it, and everything else. And they don't have control over the port. I think we have an ideal agreement, which probably no other country has had the ability to convince the developers of how the government or how the country wanted it done. And I don't think they can do much more to satisfy any questions, really, that would be risky. And up to the last call, I heard them talking about dredging. They're not going to be doing the regular dredging. I agree that would ruin probably the whole island. But it is going to be done in a different way, mechanically. They're not going to be pumping a lot of milk into the water, as it were, from dredging. I'm not saying they're not going to get any, but they've explained if it gets too much turbidity in one area, they'll stop until they can control it, and they'll maybe go in another area and work in that area. So I think they're trying everything they can to make it work without damaging the environment.
Okay. Caller, I want to thank you very much for your comments there. You had a lot to say, and I want to thank you. One of our listeners has written in and said, "Good morning, OC. I would like for the people of these islands to consider the results that we are having now with the traffic. I wonder if they could remember about the master ground transportation plan that was proposed by Mr. Linford Pearson years ago, and also the same port that was shot down by most of the people when the late Mr. Berkeley Bush, when he was building it. If he had listened to most of the people in those days, we would not have that port today. And tell me, up to date, what has happened to the port? What kind of damage has it done?" So that was a question from one. That was a comment from one of our listeners as well. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the microphone definitely goes back to Ms. Teresa, because we do have one voice note that we will play, and then we really have to talk about this application for judicial review and the possible consequences of that, including those persons who have already voted by postal ballot, what impact it could possibly have on their vote as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
I'm starting my shopping early this year. What do you want for Christmas?
All I really want for Christmas is for my packages to arrive on time.
Plan ahead to get your shipments into Seaboard Marine on time and avoid the holiday rush. Check out their great less-than-container shipment rates. Seaboard saves you time, money, and convenience with consolidation and repacking options available. Take a load off Santa this holiday season. Shop, ship, and save on your small packages with Seaboard Marine. Give us a call at 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com/grand-cayman for quotes or additional details.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
This Saturday, November 30, just before Christmas, you can be the grand prize winner of $40,000 with your Rotary Central Music Extravaganza ticket purchase of only $25. Win that grand prize of $40,000, second prize $4,000, 6 $1,000 prizes, and more. This Saturday, November 30, the 24th Rotary Central Music Extravaganza at Royal Palms, West Bay Road from 7 p.m. Get your golden tickets now on sale through Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, Funky Tangs, Hurley's, Costules, A.L. Thompson's, Foster's, Walkers Road Rubis, Savannah Rubis, or at last resort 9361344. Every ticket funds a cause. Rotary Central, 50 community projects over 33 years. Your ticket, your chance, your community. Rotary, connecting the world.
Paramount Carpet pre-Christmas blowout sale is back for 1 whole week starting Monday, November 25th through Saturday, November 30th. Save big with assorted remnant tile, 200 square foot, $100 a pallet. Assorted remnant granite slabs, $300 each. Ceramic tiles as low as 75 cents per square foot. Porcelain tiles as low as 99 cents a square foot. Area rug, 35% off. Carpets, 25% off. And all other in-house tiles, 20% off. Cash and carry. It's the big blowout sale at Paramount Carpet, located 317 North Sound Road, Industrial Park. Open Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 7:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. Call 949-5000.
We do a whole lot more than just cover your floor at Paramount Carpets.
Don't miss the early Black Friday savings at Brand Source Home Gallery in Industrial Park. Beat the crowds and save now on Samsung TVs. Get a 65-inch Samsung 4K TV for only $599, or a 55-inch 4K for only $449, and 45-inch 4Ks are just $299. But hurry to Brand Source now because supplies are limited. Brand Source Home Gallery in Industrial Park on Dorsey Drive. Beat the crowds and save now. Call 623-5000 for more information.
Support our tourism.
Do you still have questions about the cruise berthing facility? Would you like more information? Come and hear officials from government and Verdant Isle Port partners speak about the project and have your questions answered. Public meetings are happening across Grand Cayman until December 5th. Visit supportourtourism.com for all meeting dates. Be informed because truth matters.
Support our tourism.
Always ensure that food preparation utensils are washed with a strong detergent and rinsed in hot water in the event that they have made contact with flood water. Boil silverware for 10 minutes and immerse glass, porcelain, china, and plastic items in a solution of hot water and 10% chlorine bleach before use. For more post-hurricane food safety tips, visit DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Miss Theresa Pitcairn. One voice note, we're going to play that now and then back to Miss Theresa. Please, folks, please listen.
Yeah, good morning, AC and Miss Theresa. What I keep hearing now, right, is that they got, if they incur any damages while they're doing this port, while they're dredging and building this port, if they incur any damage while they're doing it, they're going to stop the project. Now, that is irreputable damages, even though when they start to do it, because they're going to be monitoring the silk and all that reach a certain level, and how much is a safe amount of silk is yet to be determined. But the real question is, I want to find out if anybody seen the contract that says, is it in written that they're going to stop this port once if it goes through, providing it goes through with the referendum, and think that they're going to stop this port while they're billing if they incur any damages, and who going to be there to say, well, okay, there's damages. Do we going to need another referendum now to stop them, because we just say, well, okay, that's an amount of damages that isn't acceptable. So I just want to find out, is anybody seeing the contract? Is it written that they're going to stop it when they incur any damages? Okay, thank you.
I want to thank that caller for that. Very astute observation there. And I can only say in relation to the monitoring of it, I would imagine that the Department of Environment here in the Cayman Islands would in some way be involved in whether or not outside monitors, independent monitors, will be engaged as well. And when you say independent, I say that quote unquote, because if you engage monitors to do that, someone has to pay them, and then people will question, well, you're paying them, so they're going to basically say what you want them to say. So it would be important for them to be truly independent. Back to you, Ms. T, in relation to this application for judicial review. Several concerns that we have in that regard.
Yeah. So I'd like to make a comment in relation to what some of the past participants have contributed to this show. The idea of costs. This has been raised in a different context as well, in terms of the money government has spent in actually organizing this, whether or not ultimately someone else may have to be responsible other than the taxpayers. And this now merges with the other thought that I've been raising consistently on this talk show. When you don't have proper communication between the government and the people, this breeds a lot of suspicion, rightly or wrongly. And it's led us now to this referendum. Many people, as you know, I was just mentioning that the National Trust has requested information for the past 4 years. 4 years down the line now, they're taking this matter to the courts. Think about the cost, right? At some point in time, we have to be sensible about how we behave as leaders and how we treat our community, because, you know, folks have this view that their voices, their votes have no value, and that people are taken for granted. So that's one point I wanted to make. The other comment that I wanted to make was in relation to the postal vote. And someone, as I mentioned to you, spoke about the whether or not invalids have the right to vote as well. I don't think that they have the right to vote when they don't have the mental capacity, and they can't transfer that right as an individual without the mental capacity to someone else to vote in their favor.
Precisely. And if that person is either voting by mobile vote, or if they have the ability to physically go to the polls, the presiding officer, who would be providing them with a ballot paper and giving them instructions in relation to the procedure, if that person is unable to communicate with the presiding officer, then that person will not be allowed to vote. Someone else cannot say, well,
this is how that
person is
and
thinking,
would like
and
to
this
vote.
is how they would like to vote. That must be communicated, because the presiding officer, if the person is unable to vote without assistance, the presiding officer can assist that person in voting, but the presiding officer must act on the instructions of the voter themselves.
All right.
Now, the other question in relation to postal ballots, the process is already in place.
Yeah, so your question was whether or not this handful or group of folks that fall into this category, whether or not they can bring judicial review. That's something that we need to consider. I mean, is a disparate group? Is it a group that is organized? I don't know.
Could an individual do? If I have already
the Constitution gives you that.
Vote, if I have already cast my vote by post, it has gone in, right? And as a result of the decision for judicial review, that it is possible that the proceedings may be halted, right? And the information that the National Trust and others are seeking, that information comes out. It is quite possible that my vote may have been cast differently had I known this information at that point in time. So it really affects, if my vote has already been submitted and it will count later on after other information has been provided, I'm affected as well. So as an individual, could I have legal standing and provide some sort of amicus brief to the court in relation to my situation and that of others as well?
That is interesting, and as you know, amicus briefs are usually during an appeal process as opposed to at the beginning of a process. But that is something to be considered, because it actually it will affect the decision that is ultimately taken if there are sufficient numbers. I mean, you and I might vote yes today, but after after new decision comes to our attention, we may want to vote in a different direction. So, that's also, and obviously too, you have on the Section 19 of our Constitution, you have the right to bring a matter like that, to the courts.
Because consideration has to be given as to, I don't know what the number of postal ballots that have been issued yet, what those numbers are, But
no one. But you see, that's the thing. No one considered these issues in a sensible way. And I didn't even know that the National Trust had started from 4 years ago to bring these matters to the government's attention. And this is not just the existing government, but the previous one as well. So we have to find a way to really try and resolve this, and it can't continue in this ad hoc way. And it's unfortunate that both the CPR and the National Trust has had to go to bring this matter under judicial review to answer some of the basic questions so that we make informed decisions.
But that was the basis for my question in relation to the timeliness of their application for judicial review, because from the time that the bill passed, I believe that the action should have been taken then, because, like you said, no one has taken into consideration the fact that we have gone ahead and we have issued postal ballots and people have already voted in that regard. Those votes cannot be discounted. Yes, they can't be discounted.
I was going to say, someone sent me a note that CPR sent 7 letters written to the Premier and the Cabinet. They had 5 meetings with Governor Roper. They had 3 meetings with the Elections Office, and CPR has provided over 25 press releases for over the last year. So, I mean, our leadership has to be responsible here. I know,
everybody has to take responsibility.
So and when you spend the amount of money that has been spent, folks have to realize that money don't grow on tree, right? And they have to be responsible for the decisions that they make and how they go about doing it. My personal view, to get past all of the drama, is to find some consensus, because this will only continue to polarize the community. Find a consensus that makes sense. The point taken.
And like I said, sorry for interrupting. Like I said, at the end of the day, answers are going to have to be given to the people one way or the other, who are affected either by having a cruise berthing facility or not having it.
And I haven't seen, I've sent some texts since we've been on the show, and I've been asking someone to send me a copy of the current agreement. And every response that I've received thus far is that what they have is all dated. So when folks refer to this agreement that's been agreed, the people who have been running these matters, and bringing it, to the public, they don't seem to have a current copy of what the government has agreed. So I don't know.
And was there something that was said in that regard that nothing would be agreed to until after? Is it before the referendum or after the referendum? I'm not sure. Just want to share something quickly as well. This one says, OC, the maximum dredge is 20 feet closer to the shore. Moving to nil further out, there is no 46-foot hole being dredged. The dredge will be mechanical, and over 90% of the material dredged is sand. A small percentage is silt. Georgetown Harbor has been dredged several times, particularly when the port was built in the 1970s. That was a person's comment. We're over the time, but I want to give you an opportunity for some final comments, Ms. Teresa.
No, I'm good. For me, as we evolve as a more matured community, and it's good that we're having this conversation. And as I said to you on the previous show, it's great to see how many people are involved in actually thinking about what is in the best interest of the community. We seem to have gotten past that thing about Caymanian this and Caymanian that, or anti-Cayman. We're just focusing on an issue to try and find out what works best for the island. That's positive.
Yes. Yeah. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want, or even those who crave. I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for talk today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these 3 beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands that we all seek to preserve, some using ways other than others, but we all love these 3 islands, and this is home to all of us. Some of us were born here. Some of us will die here as well. This is home to us, and we love it, and we must preserve it, come what may.
Back by popular demand for November only. It's your sale, your choice at Vamp Motors. Vamp is making it easier than ever for you to drive home a real deal, where you can choose how much you'll save on your new vehicle and whether you want to get cash back or add-on upgrades to it. Save big on the new Ford Explorer, F-150, Edge, EcoSport, and Focus with up to $5,000 off select vehicles during our November sale. Get huge savings on the Toyota RAV4, Rush, and Fortuner as well. Best of all, you decide if you'll take the full discount, get cash back, or upgrade your new ride. It's your sale, your choice, but only during November. So come by Vamp Motors on Walker's Road, where your new SUV or truck is waiting for you to drive home.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. K-Man Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The K-Man Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Rotary Central, for more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. Fidelity Bank, for all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you. And Roper's Janitorial, complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time.